Perhaps one far, far away if you're not aware yet that the Star Wars trilogy is being re-released in a new technologically improved special edition. It opened today, and by 9 this morning, moviegoers here in New York were already lined up around the block. So just what's so special about this special edition? It all started a long time ago. Tonight's Dateline State of the Art. The story is classic.
The Force will be with you.
The music still familiar. The images unforgettable.
I think all along the thing that has struck me is how it never has receded. I remember saying to George, what are you talking about, a re-release? Has it ever gone away?
Well, maybe not for the millions of fans who own the Star Wars trilogy on home video, but even they would agree the Star Wars universe was built for the big screen. In 1977, as The Force became a national phenomenon, the man in the center of the Star Wars universe, George Lucas, became a force of his own.
I think people are more wowed in the end by the story and the characters than they are by the technology.
But from his headquarters in the fortress-like Skywalker Ranch in Northern California, Lucas has spent the last 2 decades pushing the technical envelope.
As a storyteller, I'm working in a medium that's very technological. I mean, it's nothing but technology. You're sort of telling stories with technology.
Lucas's industrial light and magic has since taken the motion picture industry to light speed, giving the Indiana Jones movies their whip, the Star Trek movies their wrath, and Jurassic Park dinosaurs their bite. But in helping his fellow filmmakers stretch their imaginations, Lucas realized his own classic creation had lost some of its golden glow.
And so we replaced 375 shots just in Star Wars. So the film is actually much better now than it was when it was originally released.
Lucas says the special edition has all 3 Star Wars films looking and sounding the way he originally envisioned, but lacked the resources to achieve.
It's not that I was making technological updates on the film. What I was really doing is finishing the story.
Special Edition's version of the original Star Wars now helps the famed Mos Eisley spaceport live up to its billing.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
So this is a shot as it was originally in the film.
Artist Alex Seiden's job was adding some contemporary computer critters to a live-action scene shot 20 years ago.
Arantes were an entirely new creature.
Once he created the new creature separately in the computer, he combined them, along with the original background.
And this is what we end up with. A finished composite that has all of these elements integrated seamlessly. That was more of what George wanted, and it's cooler.
But some changes aren't nearly as subtle. But then again, neither is this guy.
I had a scene with Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo, and the reason it wasn't in the movie was because we ran out of time and money.
But those were luxuries ILM had 20 years later. They used the original shot that Lucas filmed with Harrison Ford and a Jabba stand-in back in 1976. But now, Mr. Hutt's cameo role is no longer in hyperspace, but cyberspace.
The character had to be built in wireframe.
The character that took 6 men to operate in Return of the Jedi now needs only 1.
He said he wanted a sort of a Jenny Craig version, of a sort of a slimmed-down version.
Whereas in Jedi, his blubber ship was grossly overweight and immobile, this slimmer slug slithers all over the set.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's uncertain is whether the next, more jaded generation of young film fans will react to Star Wars the way their parents did. But judging from the reception at its recent premiere in Los Angeles, The Force appears to be with them. The original Star Wars film cost about $12 million to produce in 1977. If you combine box office receipts and merchandising revenues to date, the Star Wars trilogy has generated an estimated $4 billion. George Lucas has
Hollywood to be